Ready? Okay. Okay. Now, in the previous session, as I talked about how we are formed, what is the order of the formation of our existence, okay, how we came into this world, how we came into this samsara, okay. Mm, of course we are in samsara, but in the form of human being, in the form of this life, okay. Now I will uh, I will talk about the procedure, the order of dying. Maybe in the beginning more brief, and then later try to add some additional information to make it more specify, to specify them. Okay. Now, as I said, when we are formed, it's not only the case that the physical body is formed, and when we are formed at the same time, the energetic, the uh, subtle form is also originated. So when we die, it's the same that while our this gross form or the physical body somehow, how to say, when it dysfunction, and at the same time the subtleness, the energetic formation also deactivate and stop functioning, and these things goes kind of together. So this procedure goes, especially those who dies naturally, not applies with those who die like in a sudden death, accident, or which happened in a sudden way, okay. Like even a heart attack, it's very sudden, doesn't give much time to experience the procedure. It's just heart stop, and then the gross dissolving is not there. It stopped just there, and then rest is a different way. But when someone is in the bed for longer period, and someone's age is quite high, and they can when they dies, and then they can experience the procedure of dying very precisely. When I say precisely, there are steps like how the organs, how you call it, senses organ stop functioning, how the how to say, senses cognition disconnect from the how you call it, sense organs. Okay, these are very precise, described in the bardó teaching. And then how the ability of the ability of the elements, internal element, started to decrease. Okay, and then how organs, inner organs, started to how to say, dysfunctioning, and then how the subtle channels, 5 subtle channels, they lose connection with the outer organs appearances, and then how 5 chakras, they just disconnect. They how you call it, chic, I don't know in English, very close to word demolish. When something is built and when it go down, how you call it, fell down. Good English word. Collapse, yes. Collapsed. It collapsed down. Okay, so you see there is a steps, appearances, organs, cognitions, elements, ability, elements, connection with the organs, hollow organs. Even we didn't talk about this, the inner elements, connection with the 5 limbs, 5 organs, all this disconnect. This is more like gross, and at the same time subtle things somehow not completely disappear, but somehow collapse or disconnects, like the channels disconnects with the body, organs, and chakras collapse down. These things happens. And then there will be experiences, feelings, when the ability of the ability of the elements decreases, and then there will be a kind of a feeling, appearances, experiences when these chakras collapse down. And the experiences which is described in the bardó prayer, we have this bardó prayer here somewhere in the cloud or where, Google Drive. The prayer, is it in the Drive?
Yes, it's on the Drive.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So there it talks about different experiences, what you see, and that experience is not experienced by your how to say, this gross organ. It's inner, and it will be experienced when like each time you experience different appearances according to the dissolvement or collapse, when each chakras collapse down. Okay, that's the one thing. Now we will have something like this. Okay, put in this way. Then I will go more detail. Appearances stop. Okay, you will lose the connection with the phenomena, objects, to see the things, to feel the things, to smell the things. You lose this. That's the first thing. And then the senses, cognitions started to connect back. Okay, something like first you lose ability from the senses, and then cognition disconnect from the organs. Okay, and then ability of the inner elements loses. So and then slowly go inside, like channels disconnects to the outer phenomena, appearances, and then chakras collapse down, and then at the last, those teachings are very important. These three things. This is very important. Okay, keep in mind. And that then there's a moment where the subtle combination of kind of a, I would say, subtle combination of the three channels, or the ability, the functioning of the bodhisattva, white seed and red seed and mind somehow disconnect. And that is the most important part you have to know. And we will have we will go detail about this later. And that moment is the one of the most important you have to know from the Bardó teaching. Okay, of course, these are the steps. Okay, now you can understand like this. The main thing is mind. I don't know, consciousness is also used as a mind. The mind is there. Mind is working with the body because of these three essence, or two essence, the bodhisattva seeds, male and female bodhisattva seeds. And on these, all organs, channels, chakras, limbs, all are formed. When all this collapse down, the last thing disconnect will be the mind with these seeds or channels. Okay, seeds. And then mind became alone. then mind gets shocked. Then mind go into unconsciousness. So that is the kind of order you have to understand. Okay, now it's easy. First, in the beginning, when we were formed, we talk about mind, and in an easy way we talk about fathers and mothers essence. That's a combination. In a how does a more detail, 5 elements is a reaction of 5 elements. So now all this composition is somehow, how to say, falling apart. That is death, falling apart. Okay, now I will read from Shangjung Yenju. It will be easier for you. So this teaching comes from the Bardó teachings in Shangjung Yenju. So it is also in your Bardó prayer, but somehow it is more dense. So here it talks more little bit clear. Okay, let's put in this way. Okay, I will go direct. Now, what I didn't include in the previous definition, as I talked about the base of the elements and the container of the elements and the doors of the organs, okay, inner organs and the door as the senses organs, like this. But we, but I didn't talk about the connections of the 5 limbs in that. But in here it comes together. So I will talk together with it. Okay. It starts from here. Where is it? Okay, now it's first starting about the dissolvement. Anyway, we can go. Okay. So it start from, okay, I think for me it is better without touching this book. It's easier for me to say directly. Okay, so let's say like this. Okay, okay. As I said in the beginning, the first formation of the 5 elements in our existence is the space, but the last one is earth. And the first dissolvement and the first collapse, the first thing which we collapsed, which it collapsed or like this, is the earth element. So I would use this term nyam. Nyam is a kind of decreasing the ability. I hope it's nyam. Broken or falling back. Yeah, get weaker. These things. So terms. So what happened is that in the beginning, the earth elements started to lose its ability in our body, the earth element. Since I said that the base of the earth element is a spleen, and its how to say, its door is just body, all just body, then there will be an experience that when this earth element collapse down in our body, we won't able to, how to say, we won't able to, how to say, take our body like lift up or stand. We lose this ability, and at the same time it will be clearly all the things started to shrink, or how you call it, nose change, eyes go inside, and like this happens. All this like flashy things will dry out, or like this. Okay. So that is the thing. And then what you will experience is that heaviness, suddenly feeling of heaviness, like will be experienced. That is the first thing. And then slowly, because of the earth elements collapse, how does it? So you can say here dissolvement. But when we say dissolvement, there are two. You have to you have to keep in mind there are two dissolvement: element dissolvement and chakra dissolvement. And that inner chakra dissolvement, it has also connection of elements. Okay, so we will talk later. So this says that the ability of the energy or ability of the earth element dissolve back to water, dissolve back to water. Now, why it is said is that, do you remember in the beginning when I talked with the origin of the world, when the water started to move strongly, it formed the earth. That is the one point. And second point is that when the cement meet the earth, like it's a formation like this, and compensation of the cement and blood, or you can say cement and the blood composition of this formed earth. Or so now it's going back, okay, dissolving back. So that is the second thing. So when the earth element dissolve back into a water element, and then these experiences happened, and then water element dissolve back into fire element, and then another experiences happened. Like, as I said, the base of the water element is kidney, and the container is a bladder. Container, yeah, container is correct word maybe. Yeah. Container is I think container is correct. No, in Tibetan, okay, that's better to say in Tibetan word. Sometimes I don't know, container is a little bit strange for me. Okay. Let's put in this, maybe it's too early to say this, maybe it's good to say. The essence of the water element is in kidney. Essence is there, power is there, seed is there. Okay, that is why it is called base. But when it works, the things goes through the bladder. Okay, so that is called bladder is called a container. Does it make sense? It applies with all these five. Okay. If it doesn't make sense, then you won't understand the remaining five, four, or like this. It's the same with the seeds of the earth is in the spleen, and that is why spleen is the base of the earth element in the earth element. Okay, and then how to say container, which is in Tibetan is the whole body, is the container of the earth element. So that's why I'm saying when earth element dissolve, your flesh started to shrink. Flesh started to shrink, and when water element is dissolved, few things happens. First, your lips started to dry. You will feel more thirsty, and then the worst case, your bladder won't able to hold the urine. Okay, that happens. So right now I'm trying to put easier way, not go more detail. So like this, because maybe tomorrow I will do. It also talks about the connections of the limbs, which I want. I don't want to include right now, but it is something like this. When this happens, you cannot lift up or right hand. When this happens, second position happen, you cannot lift up the left hand, and then right legs, left legs, and head. All these limbs are connected. But I will put this aside to make it simple. Okay, that is the second, how to say, dissolvement. And when we say this dissolvement, it also loses the connection between the internal elements and outer elements. The ability of the elements, at the same time, you lose the functioning of the organ. At the same time, you lose the functioning or connection of the how to say, senses, which are the door to those organs and elements. Better to say the door to the organ. The door of the spleen is body. The door to the kidney is a, how to say, ear. So when the water element dissolve, first things, bladder stop functioning, and it affect the ear. Okay, that is the thing connected here. There are more detail about it, but these are the main things. And then after that, fire element dissolve into wind. When the fire element dissolve back into wind, the base of the fire element, okay, there's a question, which sense is related to the earth? Sometimes when you write in the chat, if I could see immediately, it appears here on the screen, so I can read it. Yeah, for the earth element, whole body. So whole body, because you see, when we say sense, eyes to see the object, ear to hear the sound, tongue to feel the taste, nose to feel the smell, and whole body feel the, also we say rekcha. Rekcha is like feeling. How you call rekcha? Rekcha is a kind of feeling. Feeling, yeah, I don't know what exact English word. It should be rekcha. That's I cannot trust this word. Sensation? No. Okay. Sensation? No. All the terms that is used in it's a kind of touch, yeah, touch, but all the terms that is used in dictionaries are not that, how to say, I cannot confirm, but more or less the touch is the more closest one. Somehow what you feel, okay, softness, hardness, yeah, touch senses, whether it is a warm or whether it is a cold, you cannot feel much from the nose or ear, but by the body, whether it is a smooth like this, that is, yeah, touch senses, that is from body. That's why the earth, the door to the earth, or door to the door of the spleen organ is at the body. Okay, body. So that's it. And the door of the water or the kidney is at the ear. The door of the fire or the liver is at the tongue. Okay. So when okay, yeah, when the fire elements dissolve back into a wind element, I think this procedure is very helpful. Also, kind of these things, connections help also to understand so many things in medical and also in yoga and so many things. So actually right now we are talking about dissolvement, but at the same time, this dissolvement talks about the connection. And this connection is very useful for many things, okay? Anyway, when the fire elements loses its ability or it dissolves back into wind, and then your our liver became poor. It started dysfunctioning. And then you will see the dying person often says, I feel cold. I need more blanket. Lit a fire around me. Sometimes you have to rub them, massage them to produce heat on in their body. And specifically, what happened is that the effect on their tongue is very obvious. Especially, I will tell you, those whose liver is poor, there's it affects the tongue. There's a sign on the tongue. You can read the as you can read a palm, reading a palm, you okay, do you read the tongue? It's a big knowledge. The color and the layers that comes on that, and the sharpness, the crack, and then the bruise. There are lots of things you can read from the tongue. But what happened when the fire element dissolved back to wind, actually your tongue became more kind of shorter also. At the same time, doesn't feel much taste. And at the same time, when you talk and eat, how you say, it doesn't sound well. You can see, even forget about dying. Just when your liver is affected strongly, and you can see the sign obviously on your tongue. Okay, that so there will be a sign, or there will the effect on the tongue when this element started to dissolve. And in the same way, since the container of fire is in the bile, and then bile organ started to react, dysfunction. That is another one. So we have two organs, just general organs, and then hollow organs. Okay, general organ, like we started from spleen, kidney, liver, and then lungs, and then heart. This is general organs. And hollow organs, as I started from from earth, is the stomach, water is the bladder, and for fire it is bile, and for wind it's called gulong. It's something to do with intestine, especially lower part. So uh, I don't know. You have this long intestine, small intestine, and then clone. Yeah, you're right. Clone. Clone. That is something also called bowel, close to the bowel. Yeah, clone. Yeah, clone. Yes, yeah, clone. Clone is the that organ, hollow organ, and then with the space and heart, that's a sumsiu, sumsiu, which I'm struggling in English. Mm, yeah, sumsiu is a container, the hollow organ, where for male it's easy, like it's maybe same with male and female. I don't know much about monotony. Is it called monotony of the body in English? Is it called monotony in English? The knowledge of the part of the body.
Anatomy.
Monotony. Anatomy.
Anatomy.
Oh yeah, anatomy. Sorry. Okay, anatomy. Yeah. So I think I don't know much about anatomy in English, but somehow the hollow organs which keeps the semen, that sumsiu. Okay, sumsiu. So it should be same with the female, whether it should be like more like eggs or like this. Okay, or like this. So anyway, now we are at how to say fire element. When it dissolved back into wind element, our liver started to dysfunction, and it affect on the tongue, which is the door, and also it affect it loses somehow. When I say all these things, actually the hollow organs, it started to lose what they contain. For example, bladder, it loses the urine. For bile, there should be something inside this tiku in Tibetan. There's something bitterness, bitter liquid. It lose that. For that then you know what it lose. This how you call stool, I think in English better way. Or this thing, you lose the stool. Okay, and then the effect, how to say. So yeah, this is when wind element dissolve back into space, and it effect on the lungs. That is obvious. The lung stops functioning, and when the lungs stop functioning, you will have a sign on the nose. Nose is the door of the lungs and the wind and internal or inner wind element. So it affects on the nose. That's obvious. Lung, and then somehow, because it is somehow connected with the wind, controlling this stool, the ability to control the stool will be loosened, and then yeah, the ability that is in the clone will somehow collapse down or dysfunction. So that is the fourth thing. Now fifth one, when the space element, how to say, lose its ability, and it affects on the heart. Okay, so heart is the base of the space element, and the sign will be on the eye, because the eye is the core of the space, internal space element, and the door to the heart organ. So when this happens, this dissolvement, space element dissolve happens, the control of the hollow organ, that is the samsu or seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle, is it correct term? It loses its control, and for a male, they will lose kind of some drops of semen, and probably for the female would be like more like some kind of, how you call those drops of kind of happening like a period. Okay, that's happened. Okay, that is the kind of losing the ability or power, or in Tibetan it is called nupa. Nupa, yeah, ability. It's ability of functioning capacity, or is somehow dysfunction, or it lose the ability. So this is more about a gross dysfunctioning of the gross elements, plus dysfunctioning of the organs, plus dysfunctioning of the, how to say, hollow organs, and it affects the signs shown on the senses. Actually, senses has already given some kind of how to say, reaction, okay, in the beginning. So is it clear? First I want to ask. Any questions first? Which elements does the heart belongs? A space. Space is the element that is connected with the heart.
There is a question in Hungarian that how long this whole procedure takes? How long time does it take?
Oh, this depends. This depends. There isn't a specific period, because it depends on the I won't say healthiness, strongness, and the how you call it, the situation of the body of someone. Situation, or what is that English word? Yeah, it differ from different, because some of them, they can you can see that the earth element has already the condition of the body. You're right, condition of the body, because it's something to do with your body, the function of your gross body, physical body. So it differs, some very fast, some slowly, some like you already lose your ability of earth or water already, but remainings are still how to say, remained, has to be taken, the dissolvement. So that's the this one is a little bit different, because it depends on the condition of each their own body. But when we talk about the collapse of being collapse of the chakras, and those has a certain kind of period, and even all this disconnection of the bodhisattva seeds, and those has a certain period or timing. Okay, there's a hand.
Yes, Giselle. Maybe you have to go to English channel if you're not there. You're in the chat, no?
Yeah, I will turn into English. Okay. Okay, I did. Can you repeat again?
Olá, boa tarde a todos. Boa tarde, Rinpoche. Aqui já são 13h32, né? 1h30 da tarde. Muito obrigada por esse retiro maravilhoso, imperdível. Eu tenho duas perguntas, vou fazer rápidas e curtas. Eu gostaria de saber se os alimentos, se a pessoa come muito alimentos terra, como exemplo, se ela come só um tipo de alimento ou se alimenta muito de um alimento de qualidade terra, se isso vai interferir na hora da morte, como vai interferir, e se o equilíbrio ou o desequilíbrio de algum chakra, né, os desequilíbrios também interferem nessa dissolução dos chakras e das energias dos chakras.
Yeah, it matters. That's why in the beginning I said these teaching is not only helps to understanding the bardó, but it also helps to understand about how you call it yoga, or to understand about medicine, and to understand about especially Tibetan medical concepts, and then to understand about even the massage, which is called kumye in Tibetan. So it has something to do with all of them. That is why so when your food diet is also part of that. So it will help someone to how to say, arrange the diet according to the problems or issues. So yeah, dieting matters to this. And what was the second? I forgot now.
É para eu repetir?
Process of dying. No. When someone is dying, actually, maybe I didn't understand the question. Okay. Actually, when the channels, when they are like not aligned or balanced, it actually affects us, which creates a illness, which creates sufferings, which creates confusions, which creates a worry, which creates a nervousness, and all these things happens. But when we die, actually they dissolve, they collapse down, and while dying, it almost actually becoming kind of imbalance. They are falling apart. So it's a part of dying, not now. It comes later. Right now, I'm just talking about the gross dysfunctioning, gross, and after that, and then these channels, chakras, subtleness, they fall apart. Okay, and then in that process, there are kind of, the dying person will experience some kind of things that is actually like you see it, but actually you don't see through your gross eye, because gross, the eye organ or eye sense has already how to say, stop working towards phenomena. So this is just a feeling, experience what is happening in, what is happening energetically, uh, in a subtle way, what is happening in. So there is the two different things. Is it clear? Yeah.
Sim, sim, ficou claro sim. Ficou claro sim, mas eu gostaria de mais detalhes sobre a primeira, né, sobre a dieta e tal. Mas para mim tá claro, no nosso objetivo de curso, tá muito claro. Obrigada. Gratidão.
What is this? What is this? What is this? Do you hear? Oh, 1 minute. No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Is calling me in my phone. It's on. I don't know how to stop it. Do you hear the ringtone?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah.
Maybe you should decline.
I don't know how to stop it. I don't know where it's starting. Is it Messenger or I don't know where? Oh, it's from someone from the attendance. It's from you. Someone.
Yes, somebody from here. Well,
Yeah. That's why you hear from both. Okay, I managed to stop it. Okay, please repeat it. Yes. Yeah. I will try to. I will try to. How to say? Talk about the diets, but I will recommend to you to read Tibetan medical texts. Medical text, they have a better. They talk about all these things. Okay, because same concept is used there. Tibetan medical texts talk about the origin of everything is ignorance. And then they talk about desire. Then they talk about anger. And then they talk about three punishment. Because of ignorance, desire, and anger, we get a punishment. And that punishment is three illness. And three illness are like a lung, that is more like a illness that is connected with the wind disorder, like blood pressure, how called hyper tension, all these things, and whether it is a low blood pressure or high blood pressure or tensions, all this kind of psychological illness, it's connected with that. And then it talks about lung tipa. Tipa is a bile. Tipa has two meaning. Okay, one, the organ, hollow organ bile, and another is the reaction of the imbalance of the bile. That is like illness like jaundice, and there are more. Those categories are called a bile disease or Tipa disease. And the third is Pekin. Pekin is a illness that is connected with a digestion digestion problem, like diarrhea, gastric. Gastric is a maybe I know this gastric, but this is a Indian English, not a European English or proper English. I don't know how you call gastric. I know this from India. So gastric, like gastric, yeah, stomach, gastric, yeah. So it's proper English, yeah, gastric, yeah, okay. So that kind of disease. So these three diseases are the source of other physical disease, okay, other physical disease. So you see, source three defilements or three poisons, how you call it, poisons, or sometimes they use a how to say aggravation. I don't know how they use another word. In Sanskrit, it's klesha. Yeah, kleshas. So when all these three kleshas or defilement became too active, imbalance, and we are punished with three illness. And that is why this three illness is called a three humor. Humor and the literal word in Tibetan is nyepa, which also literally means punishment. And because of that, now I don't know where I'm heading. I'm supposed to head towards the Tibetan medical text and dieting, is it? Is that what I'm doing? Yeah. So is it based on, because that phone call somehow divert my concentration. Anyway, yeah, because of that, this punishment can be balanced back. Because of imbalance, because of too much of that, we are punished. And this punishment can be dissolved, or this imbalance is put in back with to the balance through medicine, dieting, physical exercise, meditations, behaviors, thoughts, and all these things are described in a Tibetan medical text. Okay, and then it talks about if it is water, if it is a fire, which food is warm, which food is cold, which food is strong, which food is light. I think this is more popular in the West. So these things are described. Okay, like even I'm sure most of you are vegetarian and many of you are vegan, but for like all this high altitude nomadic Tibetan, for them they even distinguish, according to the Tibetan medical text, they distinguish a fire element meat and water element meat. Like sheep's meat is hot, warm. It has more fire element. Goat's meat is cold. It has more water element. But such a description is mentioned in the medical text. So dieting is a very dieting is also very important to balance back. I would say it actually balances the body, it balances the prana, and through this we can heal, the cure the illness. Is it clear? Okay. Welcome. Yeah, she says. I think. Okay. So, any question? Because I'm thinking about more detail. There isn't much time left, so I won't able to. Yeah.
There is a question from Stan in the chat. I don't know, Stan, would you like to ask it directly to Rinpoche, or shall I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will read it. Okay. So Stan is asking that, Rinpoche, you mentioned that the first physical dysfunction in bardó is that sensory organs cease to work. Does that mean that we are unable to sense what is going on around our body when we enter the bardó?
Okay. Yes. One. Yes or no? How to say it? Yeah. The gross. How to say? The gross senses organ started to dysfunction in the beginning, but when we are in bardó, we will able to see, we will able to smell, we will able to taste, we will able to hear, but it's not through the organ. It is like pure consciousness that exists in the mind itself. So when we enter into bardó, we will have a physical, we won't have a physical body, but there is something called a mental body. In Tibetan, it is called yizuk. Yizuk, yi is the mind, and zuk is the form. Mental form. Mental form is the correct word. Mind form. So it is just imagination. Actually, there isn't. And it is just imagination, feeling, because of the karmic experience, karmic traces, karmic affection. And that happens. So, and that senses or that feeling is much more stronger than what we have right now. Like senses are very pure. They're almost like there's no, how to say, obstacle for to sense very clearly. Yeah. Is that question? Yeah, okay. So any other question? 59, 60. Okay, we will have 10 minutes. I think I will use for question answer, because if I started something, I think then I have to stop in between.
Please use the raise hand function if you would like to ask from Rinpoche, so we can see.
Yeah. So you can ask any question according to any of your confusion or your like this, then I will understand, or I will get idea what should I talk, or which topic should I go more how to say, precise. Yes.
Okay, there is Giselle again. I will unmute her. And then another one from Andrea. First, Giselle.
Fui eu. Então, eu queria comentar assim, duas situações que aconteceram na minha família sobre a morte. O meu avô paterno, eu não o conheci, mas no dia que ele morreu, ele disse que acordou de manhã e já avisou que ele ia morrer naquele dia. E ele pediu para chamar todos os parentes, né, os amigos, que ele ia se despedir, e era para esperar até às 18 horas, e ele faleceu às 17h30. E a minha avó materna, ela também sabia que ia morrer naquele dia, ela só pediu assim, olha, eu não quero morrer nesse lugar, me leva em tal lugar. Oi. Ah, tá bom, desculpa, perdão, me empolguei aqui. Volto da onde?
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
A minha avó materna também sabia que ia morrer. Ela só pediu assim para que tirassem ela do lugar onde ela estava e levassem num outro lugar. Esses dois avós, nenhum é praticante de budismo, eles eram espíritas. Mas eu queria saber se existe algum tipo de sinal, né, que o corpo dá, assim, de que ele vai fazer essa mutação para a morte, que ele vai se dissolver.
Yes, 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 yes. There are. This is very common. Even I have witnessed, and many of our friends. This is very common because sometimes people realize they are dying, and this happens with a very quiet. How to say? Who looks or who seems very healthy right now, and I remember one man who came to monastery, and then he it was some where around before New Year, and then he received blessing from Lama, and then he said to his friends that now I'm satisfied. Now I want to say goodbye to everyone, and now. What was his last word? Yeah, he said something like this. Uh, uh, Maybe now I won't able to come again like this. So I'm very satisfied. He said this. And the next day we learned that he passed away. So these things are very common. And there are many people who gathered their family and give a party, and then next few days he passed away. And very, very like they don't say sometime, but they felt and they indicate, and then they die. And then there are people who do astrology very precisely for when they are dying. And some master they did, and they says, "Oh, I will die on this." There are certain things like this. So there is a sign. It doesn't happen with everyone, and certain people. There are certain people who feels, who kind of uh, who do feel the signs or kind of inclusion, uh, clue, get the clue, and then they express, and then yeah, most of them they often say goodbye to their family, kind of. Yeah, this happens. Yeah, and then during the practice, many practice meditation, especially for, among the serious meditation, and there is a technique to analyze, to check whether death is close to you. If you are heading, if you are doing correct, or everything's working accurate, or something is going wrong, there are ways to check if something's going wrong or not. So there are instructions to check whether death is around you or not while you practice some serious meditation. When I say serious, it's really like if something went wrong, and you can die. So in that, and in that moment, I was told by one of the practitioner, so uh, how she went unconsciousness while she practiced poha. So it is important to practice these things when you it is important to have someone in front of you, around you, or to guide you, and especially like a dark retreat practice, and especially like a Chulian practice. Those are strong, and you need someone around you. And you can also, if you are alone, there are way that if sign of death is around you or not, to check, to analyze these things. There are way, there are instructions. Okay. Yes, next.
Andrea is next.
Olá, pessoal, desculpa, eu não consegui ligar minha câmera. Queria primeiro agradecer pelo retiro, que está sendo maravilhoso. E a minha pergunta é o seguinte, que o Rinpoche está explicando, né, nessas duas sessões da nossa mente, procurando um renascimento dos elementos surgindo. Eu queria saber se esses processos também acontecem com os animais.
Yes, yes, yes. It's the same with animal. The problem is that most of the animal, as I said, it goes in a, as I said before, like they are like bardó of base, bardó of clarity, and bardó of existence. And when you are not driven by the illusion, and then there is a possibility to gain gain the rebirth of higher realms. But those who couldn't really how to say get awareness or like this, maybe they will driven into the lower realms by their karmic traces, and that is the middle one. And the worst case, you will stuck in your illusion, and that is how you remain in the bardó state for longer. So something like this. First bardó opportunity happened, second happened, and the third when it occurs, and then there are three levels. One who can realize also, one who can get better birth, one who can get any birth, maybe more like animals, and even fall into a hell or hungry ghost realms by the reaction of their karmic, how to say, karmic causes. Okay, that is the one. And the worst case, there's the like lower one, but the worst case is you still stuck in the bardó journey for longer period, and that is the dangerous, most dangerous. In that case, that from that, and one can become a spirit, ghost, and all the zombie, all these things. Okay, and zombie is another, zombie case is another. Okay, don't put here, but it starts from a little bit earlier, but somehow all these things haunting, all these things happens here when you are stuck in that illusion. We couldn't step further. So yeah. Okay. Is it clear? Also time for break?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we have the 3 questions left, but it's yeah, we have break time now.
Yeah, you can ask later. Yeah. We can start. Yeah. Okay, half an hour or?
No, it's 1 hour break now. It's a longer break. So we come back in an hour at 7 p.m. European CET time.
Okay. See you after break.